Have you ever worked hard for something, but felt like nothing was changing? You practiced, you tried, you gave it everything you had, yet the results still seemed far away. Maybe you looked around and saw others achieving their dreams while you were still struggling. Maybe you started asking yourself, am I wasting my time? Should I give up? Why is my journey taking so long? We live in a world that celebrates instant success, a world where everyone wants quick results. Because of that, patience can sometimes feel like a weakness. But the truth is, the things that grow the slowest often become the strongest. A mountain is not formed in a single day. A great tree does not rise from the ground overnight. And a meaningful life is never built through shortcuts. Today, you will hear the story of a young craftsman who discovered that patience is not about waiting without taking action. It is about continuing to move forward, even when your growth is still invisible. Many years ago, in a valley hidden between ancient mountains, there lived someone who faced the same struggle many of us face today. His name was Arin Vale. And this is the story of the tree that waited 20 years. Arin lived in the peaceful valley of Leora, a place where people believed every piece of wood carried a story. The village was known for its talented craftsmen. Some carved wooden birds so detailed they looked ready to spread their wings and fly. Others created statues so lifelike that travelers crossed mountains just to admire them. Arin dreamed of becoming one of those craftsmen. More than anything, he wanted to create a masterpiece that would honor his father's memory. His father had once been the greatest woodcarver in the valley. After his passing, Arin inherited his tools and his unfinished dream. Every morning, Arin entered his small wooden workshop. The walls were covered with old sketches. His father's tools rested carefully on the workbench, and beside them was a small carving knife with a worn wooden handle. The same knife his father had used for many years. Arin would hold it and whisper, "This tool created something beautiful once. Now it is my turn." But Arin had one weakness. He wanted success too quickly. He wanted his work to be admired. He wanted people to recognize his talent. He wanted to prove that he was worthy of his father's legacy. And whenever progress felt slow, he became frustrated. One winter morning, Arin began creating his first great sculpture. In his mind, he could already see the finished masterpiece. He imagined villagers gathering around it. He imagined hearing them say, "Arin has become just like his father." So he worked harder than ever, day after day, night after night. But because he rushed, mistakes began to appear. His cuts became uneven, the design lost its balance, and one careless movement created a deep crack in the wood. The beautiful sculpture he imagined was now damaged. Arin stood there silently, staring at his creation. Then he placed his carving knife down. "I'm not good enough," he said quietly. "Maybe my father had something special that I will never have." For several days, Arin stayed away from his workshop. He watched other craftsmen create beautiful pieces. Every success he saw felt like another reminder of his own failure. One evening, while walking alone through the forest, he met an elderly man carrying a bundle of carefully prepared wood. The man's name was Elder Rowan. He was the oldest and wisest craftsman in Leora. Elder Rowan looked at Arin carefully and smiled. "You walk like someone carrying a heavy stone," he said. Arin looked down. "I worked hard," he replied, "but I still failed." The old craftsman walked toward a young cedar tree growing beside the path. He placed his hand gently on its trunk. "Do you know why this tree is strong?" Rowan asked. Arin looked at the tree. "Because it has deep roots?" "Exactly," said Rowan. "But do you know how long those roots grew before anyone noticed the tree?" Arin remained quiet. "Years," the old craftsman answered. "People only admire a tree after it becomes tall and beautiful. They forget about the invisible work happening beneath the ground." Arin looked closely at the cedar. The tree was not rushing. It was not comparing itself to the taller trees around it. It was simply growing. Elder Rowan continued, "Small drops of water create rivers. Small actions create great lives. Patience does not mean sitting still and doing nothing. It means trusting your work enough to continue, even when the results are not visible yet." Those words stayed with Arin long after he returned home. The next morning, Arin opened his workshop again, but this time he worked differently. He stopped chasing perfection overnight. Instead, he focused on improving one small thing each day. One day, he practiced making smoother cuts. The next day, he studied the natural shapes of tree branches. Another day, he repaired old carvings so he could understand his mistakes. Slowly, his hands became more skilled. His patience became stronger, and his confidence began to return. Days became weeks. Weeks became months. Months became years. The villagers started noticing a change in Arin. His carvings were no longer just beautiful. They carried emotion. They told stories. Every detail showed care. But Arin still carried one dream in his heart. He wanted to create the greatest sculpture Leora Valley had ever seen. 10 years after meeting Elder Rowan, Arin discovered something extraordinary. After a powerful storm, an ancient cedar tree had fallen deep in the forest. The wood was massive and untouched. When the villagers saw it, they gathered around in amazement. "This could become the masterpiece you have always dreamed of," they told Arin. Arin smiled, but he understood something now. A masterpiece was not created by excitement. It was created through patience. He began his work. Day after day, month after month, year after year. People often visited his workshop and asked, "When will it finally be finished?" Arin would simply smile and answer, "When the wood has finished telling its story." 20 years after beginning his journey, a powerful storm struck Leora Valley. The rain poured heavily. The winds damaged homes. The peaceful valley was filled with worry and sadness. The annual Valley Festival was approaching, but the villagers had lost their spirit. They needed something to remind them of hope. Then someone remembered Arin's sculpture. The villagers gathered inside his workshop. And there it stood, a magnificent wooden tree. Its branches reached toward the ceiling. Its roots wrapped around the base. And carved into its trunk were images of farmers, families, children, and generations of villagers. It was not just a sculpture, it was the story of Leora itself. Everyone stood in silence. An elder finally asked, "Arin, how did you create something so powerful?" Arin looked at his father's old carving knife. Then he smiled. "I did not create it in one day. I created it every day I refused to quit." The people of Leora displayed the sculpture during the festival. Travelers came from distant lands to see it. Artists studied it. Families told stories about it. But the greatest reward for Arin was not fame. It was understanding. Years earlier, he believed success belonged to those who moved the fastest. Now he knew the truth. Success belongs to those who keep moving. Even slowly, even quietly, even when nobody notices. The story of Arin teaches us a lesson about our own lives. Many people give up because they cannot see immediate results. Someone learning a new skill may feel like they are falling behind. Someone building a dream may feel forgotten. Someone trying to improve themselves may wonder if their efforts are making any difference. But growth often happens where nobody can see it, just like the cedar tree. The strongest parts of a tree grow beneath the surface. The same is true for us. So what can we learn from Arin? First, respect small progress. Never underestimate the power of small actions repeated every day. Reading a few pages, practicing a skill for a short time, saving a little money, building one healthy habit. Small steps create great changes. Second, stop comparing your journey with someone else's. A tree does not look at another tree and think, Why am I growing slower? Every tree has its own season. Every person has their own path. Third, continue even when motivation disappears. Motivation changes. Some days you will feel inspired. Other days you will feel tired. But discipline is what keeps you moving forward. The question is not, how quickly can I succeed? The better question is, how long am I willing to keep improving? Because greatness is rarely created in one moment. It is created through thousands of small moments. Remember, a seed does not become a tree by forcing itself to grow faster. It grows by staying connected to the soil, by receiving sunlight, by surviving storms, and by continuing day after day. Your dreams are the same. You may not see progress today. You may not see results tomorrow. But every effort matters. Every lesson matters. Every small step is shaping the person you are becoming. Be patient with your journey. Stay committed to your growth. And trust that the work you are doing today is preparing you for tomorrow. The world may not notice your progress yet, but one day they will see the tree you patiently grew. Subscribe for more wisdom stories. Share this lesson with someone who needs it. Continue your journey of self-improvement.